41 years old. Of course, there's always every back-to-back.
Didn't look like it.
Every back-to-back for the rest of the season is TBD. I am 41. I got the most minutes in NBA history.
You know, it's out of the roof. I'm working on my game. You know, I'm really confident in myself right now, so I'm ready to go out there.
How different is it from a year ago?
It's miles different. Like I feel very confident in my game right now. So
everyone believed the Los Angeles Lakers were untouchable, a Hollywood dynasty built on royalty, rings, power, and legacy, with LeBron James pulling invisible strings like a master producer. The script seemed flawless. Then one awkward front office decision landed, and the fairy tale started breaking down fast. The sudden exit didn't just raise eyebrows, it flipped the entire power structure upside down and lit a fuse no one saw coming. This wasn't noise or drama, this was real pressure.
People being serious. It needs to be about that. Like, the Lakers need to be serious this year. And I'm one of the people that said, I believe that the Lakers are going to be able to get off to a good enough start, even with LeBron James out of the lineup. I think they're going to be competitive. I absolutely think that the Lakers have a chance to be competitive, but I'm not with all of these antics, and I don't think he should be on the roster. It just is what it is. Y'all are promoting this guy and making headlines and all of this stuff when he doesn't deserve it. There are players on that roster that deserve those headlines, for goodness sake.
LeBron didn't fire back publicly. He didn't rant or complain. He smiled, tweeted, and stayed quiet, and that silence said everything. Something cracked behind the curtain, and the fallout could change how people view this entire era. Now imagine being LeBron James, the self-proclaimed king, and suddenly watching your own son get pushed off the roster of the franchise you've spent 2 decades orbiting around. That isn't just basketball drama, that's ego, legacy, and blood colliding at full speed. The kind of moment that makes grown men punch pillows and turns social media into a war zone overnight. Here's the uncomfortable truth people whisper but rarely say out loud. This reaction isn't just about LeBron losing a teammate, it's about something fans don't want to admit. Bronny James didn't make the NBA by dominating the process. He made it because the universe handed him a golden ticket wrapped in brand value and corporate courtesy. Now, many players and even more fans are quietly hoping he never sees real minutes. From the beginning, this story was built on fantasy, not film. His time with the USC Trojans was rough.
Really trying to be respectful as I possibly can be towards LeBron James. I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this. Stop this. We all know that Bronny James is in the NBA because of his dad. The first game of the season, opening night, the Griffies in attendance.
Averaging 5 points per game after returning from a serious medical scare isn't an NBA resume, it's a participation slip. In any normal timeline, he would have stayed in school, refined his game, and earned his spot the right way. But this is LeBron's world, and in that world, waiting was never part of the plan. Playing alongside his son in the NBA was the dream, too tempting to delay. So instead, what we got was a raw developmental project turned into a global headline, a prospect wrapped in $1 billion brand, protected from real scrutiny. And no matter how much people try to deny it, the missteps are real.
Preliminary conversations you've had with your father about what's expected in the NBA and what you can expect to hear and see once you start playing.
You know, we haven't gone too deep into that stuff yet, especially because we haven't even started Summer League yet. But, you know, just stuff that he's been telling me my whole life, just having that work ethic and coming in and getting your work in and listening to your coaches and being coachable, stuff like that is he's, you know, driven into my head my whole life.
If you want real breakdowns like this, hit subscribe because this story is far from finished. Watching Bronny James try to survive real NBA minutes feels like watching someone attempt a triple backflip in Crocs. Brave, chaotic, and painful to witness. He drives straight into defenders who intimidate fully grown pros. Missed defensive rotations stack up so quickly, you start wondering if defense is optional, and his off-ball movement is almost non-existent. At times, it's so lazy it feels like he's auditioning for a basketball-themed sleep commercial. One moment the ball is swinging toward the paint, and the next, Bronny is parked on the wing, admiring the scenery while defenders relax and the offense dies on contact. There's no pressure, no advantage created, just wasted possessions piling up. Take the name James off the back of that jersey, and this conversation disappears instantly.
Bron had one message: smile through it all. Most people said Bronny only made it because of his dad. Now, he's silencing the critics with career highs and stat sheets that talk pretty loud. In South Bay's 122-118 win over Santa Cruz, Bronny went off. 39 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. LeBron posted right after, keep going. From people calling it nepotism to being the first father and son duo.
No one is defending a point guard who can't read the floor, create passing angles, or finish consistently at the rim. In the NBA, those flaws usually get you glued to the bench, or worse. But when the last name is James, expectations suddenly drop and people start buying into the fairy tale. To be clear, this isn't hate, it's observation backed by film. Film doesn't lie, and patterns don't lie either. The NBA is supposed to be a merit-based battlefield where players survive because they impact winning, not because their name carries weight. Yet, here we are celebrating a routine three-pointer like it's solved global problems while ignoring what's happening possession after possession. Every forced shot, every open teammate ignored, every drive into a wall of defenders is a snapshot of a system rewarding narrative over performance. And that's the frustrating part. This is supposed to...
And because I do think that was his plan. He may not have the leverage to keep Bronny in the NBA, and I know Bronny's got this contract, and if he sticks with the Lakers, maybe it's inevitable, but if LeBron ever has to really force his way out, that may be the end of Bronny's career. That's where LeBron has potentially miscalculated, because his greed, his desire to play with his son may end up blowing up in...
Fans aren't blind. A huge portion wants Bronny gone. Not out of cruelty, but out of respect for the game. They know there are players grinding overseas, dominating the G League, and starving for a real opportunity. Guys who earn minutes the hard way, not inherit them. They watch Bronny drift through rotations like he's touring a museum instead of fighting a professional war for his livelihood, and it drives them insane. This league is about survival, not sightseeing. The NBA keeps dressing this up as opportunity, patience, and development, but the math doesn't change. Minutes are finite. Every circus layup attempt, every heat check pull-up from absurd range is a minute taken from someone who actually earned it.
Coming into year number 2.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah. Everything is paid off. All the work, all the late nights, all the early mornings, putting the right things in my body, lifting, everything. So, yeah.
What do you see like an avenue that you might take this year? I know defensively, you're bouncy, the outside shot. I know defense is your best, but what do you see another avenue you might improve on going forward this year?
I mean, as a PG, just being, having the ball in my hands and be comfortable with the ball in my hands. And
there's no leash and no real consequences, just vibes. Every mistake is met with gentle encouragement instead of accountability. Defensive lapses become learning moments. Offensive disasters are framed as part of the journey, and passive off-ball movement gets labeled a developmental arc. In reality, it's professional failure disguised as narrative protection. Imagine a point guard whose job is to orchestrate, create, and read the floor, yet who treats possessions like a personal video game, pressing buttons, forcing shots, and testing both physics and ego at the same time. That isn't confidence, it's delusion enabled by privilege, gift-wrapped as a brand opportunity, and it's both heartbreaking and unintentionally hilarious. The broadcasts somehow make it worse. Every miss becomes growth. Every turnover becomes courage, and commentators nod knowingly while reminding viewers
the team. Dude, people would be slamming Milwaukee for that, but instead we kind of let it go because at least they're honest. We all know it's to keep their star happy, so do what you gotta do. But Bronny? From day one, it's been a lie. Like, kid missed double-digit games at USC, averaged 5 points a game after cardiac arrest. In any other world, he would return to school for.
And yet, he's staring at a future where he might make less money than a kid who struggles to crack double figures unless defenses choose not to guard him. That kind of imbalance doesn't just annoy fans, it breeds quiet resentment. Respect turns into frustration, and even journalists start questioning why they cover the sport at all. The on-court decision-making is where the absurdity really shows. Point guards are supposed to read the floor, direct traffic, and make smart decisions under pressure. Instead, we're watching someone treat elite defenses like an open buffet. 3 defenders collapse? Perfect, force a shot. A wide-open teammate on the wing? Ignored. A 7-footer waiting in the paint? Let's challenge him anyway. That isn't development, that's chaos disguised as confidence, and people are finally getting tired of pretending otherwise.
Going on yesterday with the Lakers versus the Warriors. We had the Suns versus the Nets. We had the Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets, and of course the Lakers game. So I told you guys this year I'm going to be spending a little bit more time watching the Lakers, kind of understand the team. And I caught the game, like I was catching bits and pieces of it. I didn't watch the game all the way throughout because I was looking for topics for today. But anyway, the Lakers had a pretty...
It turns a professional game into a circus that everyone is forced to pretend is legitimate. And here's the real issue. This isn't about potential anymore. It's about minutes, opportunity, and integrity. Every possession Bronny James consumes is one less chance for someone else to fight for their livelihood. Every forced shot he takes without consequence is a slap in the face to players grinding overseas or stuck in the G League, where one bad night can erase years of work. That's the cost of bending reality for a name, and people are finally done pretending they don't see it. Every celebration of a three-pointer that barely shifts the game exposes how absurd the situation has become. The NBA claims its standards are ruthless, yet somehow Bronny James is exempt from nearly all of them. Fans see it, coaches see it, the league sees it, and still the narrative keeps rolling as if nothing's wrong. Bronny isn't an NBA player in the traditional sense. He's a brand, a storyline, a traveling spectacle. Playing alongside LeBron James is historic, sure, but it comes at a real cost. Team flow suffers, fan patience wears thin, and league credibility takes a hit. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody wants to admit. The moment that protection disappears, when LeBron James retires or moves on, the question won't be whether Bronny can survive, it'll be whether he belongs at all. History is clear. Nepotism in professional sports always has an expiration date. Reality eventually crashes the party. Charm, energy, and heart are nice. They make you likable, marketable, and sell headlines or jerseys, but they don't make you an NBA rotation player, not in a league where results are supposed to matter. At some point, the truth stops being negotiable. Film doesn't lie. Stats don't lie. Defenders treating Bronny like a decoy instead of a threat is a silent indictment louder than any hot take. Every missed rotation, forced shot, and bad read reminds us that legacy and skill are not the same. Yet, the conversation tiptoes around it, because criticizing a billionaire's son is bad optics. That's exactly why so many fans want him gone. Not out of jealousy, not out of cruelty, but because they understand basketball. They see a player absorbing minutes, attention, and opportunity that others would bleed for. Players grinding overseas, players stuck in developmental leagues where one mistake can erase a career overnight. So the question keeps coming. How long will the league stretch reality before it snaps? It's frustrating, absurd, and unintentionally hilarious. Watching coverage frame this as a developmental success is like putting a bow on a brick and calling it a diamond. Strip away the last name, remove the brand, kill the narrative, and what's left is painfully obvious.